Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
What
Today,
the heck are we doing here?
oh my god,
Who knows?
what
I
a
mean,
selection of folks we have
well,
today.
you got the dregs today.
I'd argue the dregs was me
All the
last
dregs.
week, to be honest, on my own.
I watched that. I thought it was all right.
Oh,
Too
were you? How are you? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. You didn't sound particularly happy with yourself at the end, but I actually quite enjoyed
nah,
that.
I was like, well, do you know what? I was planning to do something else. I was planning to do some
Welcome to
music.
my world, Josh, when I stream.
I
I'm all
was,
by myself. Nobody
was-
asked me if I'm okay.
I was planning to do some music stuff, and
Ah,
the
okay.
program is fucked. And
Oh, no.
I was trying for an hour beforehand to make it work, and it just didn't work. Which is why I came into that stream just down, because I was just spent an hour, and then I had to last minute. I was like, well, what the fuck should I do?
Oh, nuts.
I was like, fuck it, I'll do mine.
There we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm gonna do
I
my.
will say, I enjoyed Schwa FM the week before, though. I thought that was wicked. Watching
Yeah,
you
that
try
was
and put
alright. That's why I was
everything
like, I'd do a cool one, like where I was like, let me do some music, Schwa FM. It makes sense. Didn't work.
Do you know what? I genuinely watched the previous one you did to get some tips because I'm still learning how to edit and things like that, and I learned quite a lot from it, to be
Oh,
honest.
that's good.
So yeah, it was good.
Oh,
It
shit.
was good.
Maybe
Yeah.
I should have downloaded it and we could put it on YouTube.
Yes, I agree. Why did you not do
Shit tutorial. Anyway, well, hey, we're not here to talk about that today. We are here
Nope.
to, well, not indirectly, not directly. We're here to talk about D&D, and we have with
No.
us Mr. David West. Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
Hi. Yes, thanks for. I've never been on here before.
You've never seen him before.
Never seen me before. Yeah. Hello everybody. I was the dungeon master for this. For this Balls Up, apparently.
Yes.
I didn't choose the title.
Top titling from you
It
there,
was
Josh.
the
To be
great
honest.
Titling.
mid-episode title.
And it's not quite what you thought. So you probably best watch it for context.
Oh,
Mm. Yes.
Than using your imagination, you dirty mix.
We should say immediately,
Uh,
if you have not seen this week's
Immediately.
episode of
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, it is in fact available on the YouTube channels. Post
is.
Sanity Plays.
the YouTube.
Go find it and watch it and
Yes.
enjoy it, and then maybe you can come back and catch this one. Also on YouTube at the weekend on Sunday.
absolutely.
Yes. I have been telling my other players about the channel. So
Let them.
maybe they'll come by tonight. Who knows? I've let them come.
Let them.
Yes.
Let them join
Absolutely.
us.
Can,
They will
can
be
I
familiar
also?
to your world, though, won't they? Oh, sorry, Rob. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, good point.
Yeah, more so. They've been in the world a lot longer, whereas you guys in game have done a day.
We're amateurs.
They've done like over. I think they're in some of their sessions. I mean, one of my weekly session obviously being a bit more frequent. They're getting through the days a bit more in game, but technically they're only 8 days in, and we're in session 14. Because it really depends what the players want to do, which will dictate how much time things take. But yeah, help that. I run a homebrew. It's my game, so I've made up all the custom rules for it and stuff like that, as well as obviously using the main rules. Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that we've only done a day and the carnage we have wrought already.
Oh, they've
It's
not,
just-
they've not seen
Yeah,
episode 10
you
yet.
pissed off a lot of people last
Oh.
game. So keep tuning for episode 2.
Oh,
guys.
I have been editing.
What are we calling? What are we calling episode 2?
Does anyone want me
Is
to?
there a working title?
I have a title, but
Do
does
you?
anyone want me to?
You have a working
Do you
title?
want me to
Okay,
say
we'll
it?
put it to the
Do you want me
chat.
to say it now, or should we wait until next week?
I think.
Should
Well,
we have a?
Let's wait. I'd say let's wait.
Let's see what
because
chat
Let's
thinks.
wait.
we
Yeah, yeah,
have
because
the next Lasers and Feelings guys to talk about later
we
on.
do.
Don't
We do.
Chat say boo.
we? We have a title, just not for that episode, because that's the episode that's in like 3 weeks or something.
I like the thumbnail that you guys did for the first one. That was cool.
Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons thumbnail. Josh, you need to teach me some stuff, man, because I don't know how you put that together. Jesus,
me.
I mean,
To be honest,
Is that on now?
Anyway.
Is it on now? On the?
yeah, it's on there now.
Is that on now? Is that part of the? Not the pre-generated one. Is that on the YouTube channel? Has that been added? The thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on there now.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I did the first.
I've seen it without.
So I was going to say I did the first Lasers and Feelings, and I thought this is pretty good. And then I saw yours, Josh. I was like, oh, okay, right. I need to learn some more things.
It's almost like I'd previously run a gaming YouTube channel.
No, doubt that.
I think we might have already beaten the numbers.
We're above 0, yeah.
We're above 0, yeah. Oh, dear. No, do you know what? Genuinely, it's quite bad because I didn't get round to doing it for the actual when the video first went live. So there was a couple of days when it didn't have it, and then I looked. This is the nerdiest thing in the world. The reason why I did it, I looked at the analytics on YouTube on our channel, and I saw that there were loads of people who had seen the thumbnails, and the click-through rate was really low. So I was like, I guess I better do a better thumbnail.
Yeah. I think it also it just looks good, doesn't it, compared to what was there before? Yeah, I'm definitely with you there.
It's not a million miles off the technique that I was using in the editing video. Really, it's actually quite simple, but it's just like it took me an hour or something like that. Do you know what? The stupid thing is, I didn't think of it until the Monday. Had I thought of it in time, I would have done that on stream.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because all that time I was like, oh, what shall I do on stream? Never occurred to me that I could just make the thumbnail and that would be a cool like art project to do on stream.
Yeah.
And I thought of that like on Tuesday or something. I was just like, oh fuck. That would have been a really good stream, and I completely missed it.
Instead we got Minecraft.
Instead we got me unenthusiastically running around on my own in Minecraft.
Hey yo, people love the Minecraft, man.
I love Minecraft.
People love it.
I was down on that day. I was down on it. Really good.
Well, seeing as we're talking about what you have been creating, Josh, what about the opening a couple of minutes of that video? Holy hell. That was
the explainer. Well,
you made me look good.
I started it. Yeah, because there was the explainer, and then there's the montage intro. To be honest, the montage intro was one where I was just like, I wanted to do something, and I'd started looking for just like interesting images and stuff. Oh yeah, no, because of the backgrounds. That's right. Because Rob had started with the idea of putting in like backgrounds for locations, which I thought was a really cool idea. And then I was like, okay, I'll do that. I need to get like nice. It's a lot easier for Dungeons and Dragons because it's like it's the forest, it's a field, as opposed to it's a spaceship and it's a space dining bar. So I was looking, and then I somewhere along the line I found Vidivo, the stock video site, which was all like free stuff, and just browsing their front page I was like, some of this stuff is really cool. So I just went and did a little search, found stuff that was appropriate for David's introduction, and I was like, we'll just chuck that in. And then I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah,
I just expected my mug on screen. That's what I was like, oh, here I go. And then all this stuff came up when we obviously were seeing it in process. And I was like, okay, cool.
Occasionally I like to flex my muscles a bit.
I have to say, Josh, I basically nicked your idea for the second episode. David, obviously you give a sort of recap at the start of the second episode, and I essentially just thought, I could use these sort of pictures again. So I've gone to Vidivo as well, and
Video's
yeah,
really
just
great.
oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
I
Yeah,
was like surprised. What a great! I
Yeah.
like sponsor us, Video. No, so good.
Yes.
Really good footage on there. Really high quality for free. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's so to kind of merge into the explainer, the very opening bit, which was a super last minute addition.
it was also super as well. To be honest,
That was again. I mean, that was me trying to come up with an idea to do on stream because I was on my own and didn't have anything. And was like, well, I know, because David had originally done just a piece to camera explaining it, and it was like 6 minutes long explanation, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to cut this down, because we don't want to spend 6 minutes explaining D&D because it's so complicated.
oh yeah,
And then I
But they
was
get
like,
to see my face, so it's fine.
well, yeah, it's okay. We got some pictures instead, that nice artwork that other people made. But then, yeah, and again, I was looking for something to do on stream, and I was just like, fuck it, intro. And then doing that, it was just easier for me to just do it myself and do it live. So, like, speak in the voiceover live, because I can do that. And also, I think that's quite a cool trick, recording in live stuff. Makes it a bit more organic. So... yeah, I started it live and then I finished it off the night before broadcast. When I was like, oh shit, I haven't finished that. And I just, it's, again, not difficult, really. It's essentially just a slideshow with some excellent Vidivo stock footage sprinkled in between, just to kind of bring up the production value a little bit. And some fire.
lots of fire.
Lots of fire. Yeah, just cause fun.
Yeah, I thought, what an excellent way to introduce it though. And the thing I like about it, when obviously you were working on it a couple of streams ago, I sort of watched that back because I wasn't there when you streamed it, and I saw that you looked back at what I did for Lasers and Feelings, and of course I have one page of rules to go through, and half of them I kind of threw out anyway and decided we weren't going to do them. So there was that moment where you looked at them and went, he's just said the rules, what do I do? It was really funny. I think the way that you went with it, of you didn't need to explain too much with it, you kind of, it was more about the getting people ready for the world building side of things instead of worrying about rules, because we kind of go through it as we're talking about.
I mean, David's explainer had gone much more into the rules. Like, not like, I mean, you can't sum up the rules of D&D in 6 minutes even. So it was more.
I found it very difficult.
So when I was finishing it off, I went and I watched through David's thing and kind of picked out bits. I wrote it down. I just got like keywords and stuff, and then I was like, squish it into a much smaller thing. I didn't want to go over 2 minutes, basically.
I think as well, like, you'll see for anybody who would like to watch like things like Critical Role, which is, they're like OGs at doing this and doing it live on Twitch, and they've built a whole like community around it. They're still like, Matt Mercer still has to look up rules now and again and just be like, oh, like, what is that again? Like, there's so many that, it's people always checking themselves, and in other games as well. Like, even this other group I watch, with Brian Mulligan, who leads Dimension 20. It's the same thing. It's just so many rules. So
possible.
yeah,
I don't think it's
I find it hard. I remember you said maybe about 5 minutes. I went, okay, and then I was like 6 minutes. Shit.
Even then, I was like,
and that was me trying to compact it. That was me trying to, yeah.
Talking as quickly as possible.
Yeah. It's too difficult to be going in and explaining like what each dice is, and the kind of particulars about magic and combat, and then like what is.
It's better to see it in action, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just better to just see it live, and that's how I learned originally. That's how I got the beginning, and rather than I looked at rule book, going, huh, and then I watched it, and went, oh, you know, it's actually much. Trying to read it in the book, it's okay, but you just got to get stuck into a beginner's game, or like that's what I did with D&D Scotland. Shout out to D&D Scotland. Is on Discord and joined the beginner one shots. Like I knew how to play as a fighter, but there was all these other classes that I didn't know. Like fighter is one of the first kind of easier kind of classes to go with at the beginning as well. So I do recommend, if you're a first time player, maybe pay someone who doesn't use a lot of magic, because you can always, depending how long your campaign goes for, you can then multi-class and then try a bit of magic if you want. So, and there's different like subclasses for fighters and stuff where you could be like a fighter magic use. Like there's things you can do, but stuff like barbarians, fighters, and rogues, I really recommend beginners maybe work with characters like that. But hey, or you can go to deep end and just be like pew pew with the wizard.
Yeah. Josh, work with characters that don't do too much magic, eh, mate?
I mean, I don't see why you'd be in any way surprised that I picked a sorcerer.
I'm surprised you didn't also split the sorcerer in two, so that you had two separate sorcerers.
So you had two sorcerers. Surely one would be a cup, cup and sorcerer.
Or have two gnomes standing on top of each other or something.
Hey, you don't know that yet. You don't know that yet. I've been casting illusions for the entire run.
That's a twist right there. One of the things I thought might be good is for David to give us a quick sort of rundown of where the story idea came from and the bits about the homebrew. And David, I know you've been doing a bit of research, so you can talk us through it. So,
love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, do you want to give us a rundown?
Yeah. So with this idea, so there's basically kind of two ways, or you could do a mixture of both, to be honest, as well. You've got your like pre-made adventures, which are like, I would say, a bit more kind of beginner DM friendly, because a lot of the material's already made. You know, it's a pre-generated stuff. You already have source material. And then homebrew is kind of it's like the in-house word for custom content. So then you're working with rules, but then you can add your own, or kind of sort of modify some of the existing ones, or remove so you could run a whole campaign where there's no magic. It's a world that magic doesn't exist, and stuff like that. Or you could be setting it in space or anything like that. So it could have been easier to go the pre-made route, but I, as you guys know, like being creators and in different art forms or different things, I had to kind of still scratch that itch, and that was kind of one of the things that really made me go down the rabbit hole with D&D. Is especially with me being involved in dance, I couldn't do a lot during the COVID pandemic and stuff, and it was like that creative outlet for me. So then I just went, oh, screw it, I'm going to make my own world and stuff like this, and completely from scratch. And the way I'm doing it is, the kind of working title that I've got for the adventure is called Undiscovered, which is, you know, you and your party arrive as part of a colony, and you all have your reasons of why you're there. And it pretty much kind of stems from there, and then you'll be confronted by, you know, the wild creatures of this land, and find, you know, lore and things of this truly undiscovered. And as I'm making the world, I'm making it with the players as well. And this is kind of fun thing I was telling my my other players on Saturday, you know, last week, and saying like, whatever we create in this campaign, me and you guys, for those who come behind you and play in this colony and this town that you've made, they play with the existing lore that you've made. So I'm like kind of giving ownership to the player, a lot more so, and I'm creating this world, and I'm I'm giving them authorship at the moment. My regular game, they're currently figuring out in their Discord chat that what are we going to call our town? What's the town watch going to be called? Like, how are they going to defend and like policies and stuff? Because I've actually added like an elections homebrew element, which I've not seen in games. Usually it's like pre-generated. There's already a monarchy. There's already a democracy. There's already, whereas I'm literally like, I'm going bare bones and building it from there with the players, but still having my fun and creating my own kind of creatures and stuff like this. So I really just like threw everything out the window. Nothing exists. I will create it, as we go. But yeah, I've told myself, this happens at the beginning, this happens in the middle, this happens at the end. How we get there, who knows?
And sometimes that's the best way to do it, isn't it? If you've got a rough idea of the story, then you can play around with it so much. I'm sure that I think I've heard you say it to us before that we're very much more focused on the role-playing side of things, whereas a lot of the other people that you play with are less involved in that, more in the fighting side of things, in combat and things like that. So I suppose having it that open allows you to sort of work with different types of players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You kind of there's a section in the DM's in the DM's Dungeon Master's book where it says "Know thy players," and it's like it tells you kind of things to consider, like storytelling. Are they interacting, or does it feel too awkward? You want to try and reduce that, or like, and just I want in the end the players to enjoy themselves. I want to kind of go towards their kind of what they want to do. And between yourselves and the other two games I run, there's so many differences. So it's I want to make sure that they're really getting to do what they want to do rather than just putting stuff in front of their path and just like get bored and then don't want to play. Like I don't really want to do that. And I think no right DM wants that to happen, because then people don't want to be DM'd by you because you're not taking them into consideration. It's having that kind of gamer's empathy, I'll call it. You rather than game companies these days are just releasing games just for this because of
you don't want to be
money
EA,
and rushing things out the door. Pretty much. Well, to be fair, I'm playing Dead Space and they made that, so I can't. One of the decent games they've done. So, there's sections, but the thing is, like, even big companies like Bethesda that's been bought by Xbox, they screwed up with Fallout 76 when it came out. Like, that was a big. But they had created all these amazing games. Like, I love playing Fallout 4, New Vegas, Fallout 3. Like, and then they just created this utter shiter. I never played it, but I just saw everybody just take a big D and dump on it, man. So
I'll tell you what, though, a post-apocalyptic sort of Dungeons and Dragons type thing, or Lasers and Phoenix, could be quite a laugh.
Oh, don't.
Well, you say that. There's recently been a. There's actually a recent. I can't remember who's released it and who the person who's. It's a new kind of a source edition book which allows you to add an apocalyptic element to your game and your whatever your universe is. There's an actual book that's like your guide to the apocalypse kind of thing. And it doesn't matter what you're running. You can just insert an apocalypse and why is it happening? How do the characters react to? So it's very new. It's only come out quite recently. I I can't exactly remember off the top of my head because that's quite fresh. But I remember Critical Role like pushed out. They were sponsored by this publishing company. I don't think it's Wizards of the Coast who do normal D&D. It's other game masters. Which is staying with it.
Isn't there?
Yeah, another recent one is Grim Hollow, which is like a place in the D&D world, but it's like just full of tragedy. Like it's not a hey, let's have some fun. It's like really just like
Everyone's sad.
scary, awful time. Everybody is sad. Yeah, it's like it's similar to Apocalypse, but it's like it never ends. Whereas the Apocalypse is something that obviously has an end to it, but it's kind of like world breaking, compared to Grim Hollow, which is just kind of this area like that's I don't know. I can't remember if Grim Hollow is meant to be set in the Shadow Plane. The Shadowfell plane. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, that's
another cool thing that's come out recently. It has beastry. Oh, one of the elements of Grim Hollow is that you can take creature parts and make them weapons.
Oh, that's
and modify your weapons. Yeah, there's a whole creature. Yeah, it's creature modifying weapon thing. So it gives you excuse to go hunt something down deliberately to enhance
really cool
or something like that.
Yeah.
So
that's a cool idea.
it's a really cool concept, isn't it? Yeah, kind of gives.
I'm thinking like dragon scales and things like that.
No,
it's
like
so
a
good.
dragon claw
Modding your
spear
gear
or something,
Yeah.
You attach a dragon claw to your
It's like you're modding. It's like in video games where you get to mod your weapons.
That is a cool idea.
Like
Actually,
when you can add a mod onto an existing weapon.
I'm
it's
I'm
kind of like
surprised
that,
it never existed
or something like
before.
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why someone went and done it. Hey, some
Don't tempt me into making
it's
a
cool.
post-apocalyptic.
It's out. It's out.
Thing.
You can get it. I'll find out what it's called and I'll let you guys know.
One shot. Let's see how that goes, eh? There may be...
Oh yeah. I'm so looking forward to that, Josh.
What is it?
That's gonna be amazing.
Fucking would, I would make a fucking series, like a short campaign.
Yeah, like everybody. It's designed that everybody dies in the end because that's what is. Everybody's gonna die, but it's
there
like
is a game like that. I think it's called 10 Candles, where everyone's going to die at the end. It's just like, what's the last things you want to do before you die? And you literally have 10 candles on the table. I think it has to be done face to face. I'm sure I've heard of something like that, and you like snuff out a candle for every like 3 actions or something weird like that. So like there's only a certain amount you can do. It sounded amazing, but
I mean that sounds equally amazing and incredibly grim.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
By the way, I should say if anyone in the chat has any questions or things they'd like to know, please do. Hello, good evening to
Planet
you.
Apocalypse.
Planet Apocalypse.
That's what it's called.
My mic is really quiet. Is that because my mic is really quiet, or is that because things are...
We don't need to hear you.
Peterson Games, I think, is the person.
That's cool, though. That's very cool. Yeah. I was going to say it might be a good idea to have a little chat about our characters. Just talk about, how we came up with those ideas. Obviously, we've not got Ben with us, but David, I know we sort of sat down with you, I think, together originally, and sort of talked through some ideas for characters. And yeah, we sort of came up with some fun ones, to be honest. I think I said it in the Lasers and Feelings chat we had the other week.
Yeah.
I thought these guys really sort of mesh well together, because you have it. To me, it seems like the warring dads, and then you've got the child in the middle who doesn't know what to do.
I mean, that's not inaccurate, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
Yeah, with kind of the initial creation sessions, if you're with a group of people, you call that like session 0, where you're kind of deciding what your party's doing. We did that offline or whatever, but and then also after we did our kind of first episode, and you guys got had a feel for, and we treated it like a one shot. Like going forward, and obviously having those further conversations, going more deep into detail of of your background and everything as well, just helps add for, especially for you guys in your game, how you guys are RPing quite a lot. It's very much needed in that case, where you want to have sort of, if someone insight checks you, or you're trying to deceive someone of something, or say someone's trying to NPC's trying to read your mind, or trying to read each other's mind, because that's probably something you guys would do, is what information to give them. Otherwise it's just blank slate, and then it's like you don't really have much to work with. I like the character creation sessions.
The interesting thing about that was after this first episode, when we had a chat, my character ended up with something, I won't say what, but that ended up being quite big in the second episode. And I just think it was lovely, because I didn't even know that thing was there beforehand. And then I found out about it, and I was like, right, I know exactly what this is going to be. And yeah, it ended up being about a third of the episode.
That's true, yeah.
Or dealing with that one thing. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And one of the best moments I think that Josh has come up with so far to do with that as well.
You mean better than the one that I did to you in the following Lasers and Feelings episode?
I don't know. I mean, that was just pain.
Now you see what it's like to be on the other side of it, where it's just entertainment. You're not suffering.
So true.
Suffering from my willfulness.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh, where did the idea for your tiefling warlock?
A tiefling sorcerer, he is.
Sorry, yes.
Well, to be honest, there was a large degree. I'd originally thought of it because I talked with David about joining one of his other games, just as a just to get practice in, basically, because D&D is so so much. And I'd kind of had that idea for that character for that, because he is very blank slate as a character. There isn't a lot going on because he's very young, so obviously he doesn't have a lot of history either, no matter which way you put it. And he's a character who doesn't really know that much about himself, either because he literally doesn't know his history, or because he's so young he hasn't had the kind of life experience to know. So that the idea of the character was one who could essentially be manipulated. There's an element of Madge in the idea, where it's someone who can be, he's a lot more powerful than Madge. He's a sorcerer, but he's someone who can be influenced by the people around him. And I kind of thought the original idea was, anyway, that it would be funny to create a character who is then like his people he looks up to are what I knew was, well, I didn't really know what your character, Rob, was going to be, but we had a pretty good idea what Ben's character was going to be, because it was essentially just a version of Bov.
So, he loves Bov so much, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That he just,
That's
so true.
So I was like, it would be funny to have a character who starts in quite a neutral space and then is kind of push-pull between. In some respects, I've since thought of a character for David's World that I think would have been really cool, and I was like, that would have been better.
Do it.
No, we've started, so we'll finish. If he dies, if he dies, then I've got a spare one.
You'll roll them in. Okay, all right.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the child. I think it's
there's a lot.
Like you say, there really is. There's a sort of an obvious arc there. I mean, the thing that gets me the most is we don't know his name yet, and I think that is so cool. And that wasn't part of the plan originally, from what I remember. It just ended up happening in that episode, and we've sort of rolled with it because I think it's even better not to know.
I think, yeah, because we did the original introductions, didn't we? And everyone was introducing themselves, and no one actually asked the name; it was just given. So I kind of it occurred to me in the moment that if he wasn't asked his name, he wouldn't give it. And there are reasons for that, which we might find out down the line. Yeah, essentially, it just occurred to me that that's what the character would do, so that's what I went with. Although it has to be said, I think about 20 minutes in, I was like, this character is not going anywhere near where I thought it would go.
Yeah, you do find that, like...
Yeah.
Initially, do you feel like kind of it takes a while to kind of get into what this person is? Like, even my characters in the game I was playing last night as well. I'm this lizard folk wizard. So, and the funny thing is, I randomly rolled everything, and my spell casting DC is based on intelligence, and my intelligence is low. So it's like I'm like the most dumbest, and I'm just
the worst.
Wizard. I'm currently just eating anybody who gets in my way, and I'm just a greedy, power hungry lizard, basically. And I find like the thing is, as he spends more time with these people, I'm kind of making him more and more intelligent. Like I'm starting to feel like that's his journey. So he slightly speaks better and better, more kind of like common wise, because lizard folk speak in very it's very weird. It's almost like this one's breath smells, or something, rather than saying my breath smells, like, you know what I mean. And they don't, it's very like broken common. But I'm kind of as he's getting more into like learning more spells and learning, he actually becomes more intelligent. Actually, maybe he tries to create a spell that makes him better at speaking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he secretly wants, he wants to be a merchant as well. He wants to make money. He wants to be just power. You know, he's a dickhead. It's always funny because I feel like you find this as coming in as doing Laser and Feelings GM stuff and then become the character. You feel like, I don't know if you feel the same. I just feel this pent up chaos.
Oh yeah.
I get to bring back another
100%.
You think that other DMs and GMs would be empathetic? Nah. We're just like, you know what? It's my time to be a chaotic, And I definitely...
I'll say it took me an episode to get into that mindset, because the first episode, it was more of a feeling it out. But when we got into that second episode, and everyone will notice this, there was a little bit of chaos from me and a few things I was particularly proud of doing.
Oh,
but,
it was...
bleeding into... He's...
Yes, yeah.
That could be almost like your... I can't remember what your temptation is. Obviously, we won't say it on stream, but like that could almost be like it's your temptation not to be influenced by these little shits.
I do realise that I'm going to be in for my comeuppance in a week or whatever it is that we're actually recording this thing.
Oh yes,
not long.
I'm so looking forward to this. Yeah.
People are planning to fuck with me, I've no doubt.
Oh yeah. Well, I know we've not got Ben with us today, so obviously we won't go too much into Leamington.
Well, we know about Leamington. Leamington is Bov. but
I think a slightly
Adapted
more
Bov.
angry...
Older, more angrier Bov.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's got, as we see in Scotland, the wee man syndrome.
Oh, yeah, that is the best.
He's got, that thing because he's so small and beauty. He's like, he just like, he's like that small dogs like act more aggressive, and everybody's like, oh, big dog, and the big dog's like, I just want to love everybody. Little dog, and then you got chihuahuas going. That's basically what.
Here's the question I have about Leamington. He says he's the tallest gnome in the world. Does anyone believe that? Because I don't.
Oh no! Everybody's talked to thinks he's full of shit so far. I think. Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah, especially the first person he even talked to, Darius. He comes up to him and he just goes like this. And he just starts talking to him. He doesn't even say hello. He's just like, oh, well, I think he does say, oh, hello there. It's like, and you are? Like, who are you, man? You just, this weirdo.
There's a great moment there where he says, can I help you? And he just goes, no. And then just starts to walk up.
I'm like, why are you here? It's like, why are you here?
Oh, it's brilliant.
I'm not sure how much Leamington that was and how much Ben that was. Just going, I don't know what I'm doing.
I think we got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say for Nightbreeze. So I had.
Where did Nightbreeze come from? Please tell us.
Well, so. One of the things when we were discussing our characters,
the Lenore brand.
when we were discussing our characters, I heard.
Clothes. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, all right, mate.
Hey, bitch.
I heard Ben and Josh basically describe their characters first of all and what they thought they would want to do. And it was at that particular moment that I realised, okay, so we've got two people who will not be able to melee, probably not be able to take many hits.
I'm so weak.
Yeah, exactly. And I was sort of thinking, my original thought was, before we discussed anything, I was thinking about going for some sort of mage. But as soon as I heard that, I thought, okay, I've got to switch tack here because it's just not going to work. 3 rangy people, So, looking at it, I mean...
You're also stealth better than anybody in the party.
My what, sorry?
Considering you're wearing heavy armor.
Stealth, oh, that was superb, wasn't it? I mean...
I was like, what?
That was great. But yeah, my stealth is
Stupid.
awful, and yet I still managed to roll that high. But yeah, my thought was I'm going to try and... Essentially, deciding I was going to be a paladin... which brought in the healing spells that I knew that nobody else had, but also brought in the fighter side of things as well, sort of melee side of things, kind of informed the character from then on. So I sort of decided to go with a half-elf because I wanted something that seemed strong-ish, but I was also kind of pushed towards an elf, and I thought if I go half-elf, it means, stronger human side of things, but also I get to play as an elf still.
Yeah, I mean, those ears gave it away.
The actual character, I mean, like I say, I was informed by what the rest of the guys did. I was trying to be the shield of the party, but I turned out just being a guy who sort of talked a big game, but actually couldn't do anything. And I think that has worked out incredibly well. But just like you, Josh, nowhere near where I thought that character was going.
Then you got the kid fucking sniping people.
Yeah.
With like ice.
Accidental comedy.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, I thought I'll be the one, slashing through everybody. And yeah, no, it's not worked out like that at all. But in a good way, for me, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right, Carl. I mean, tallest gnome is essentially short above. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's
pint-sized Bov. Pint-sized Bov.
Yeah. When do you think he's going to go and buy a cane? I'd
be surprised if he didn't already have one.
I really don't want him to. But the thing is, him as a noble, he would probably character-wise, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Bob doesn't make sense with the kid. I don't understand it.
It's never made sense.
I'm really looking forward to finding out what on earth his
I'm just
feelings
why does he have a
is.
chain?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm like, is he actually even rich, or he's just been talking shit the entire time?
He's told me some bits, but I've said to him I don't want to know everything. I want him to be able to, the same with all of you. I want there to be some surprises.
Yeah.
So I want to hear more about it.
It is interesting. We have got to that phase now. Well, we just hit it, I think, in episode 3, because in episode 3 of Lasers and Feelings, I through again, it was through opportunism because stuff happened that wasn't meant to. Um,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we could have a look. We could start having a look at some backstory stuff here, and I feel like we're probably not far off the point where we start looking at backstory stuff with the D&D characters as we get to 3, maybe episode 4 of D&D. Just where, because the characters become more settled with each other as much as anything else, and it's more natural to kind of go to like expand the story into who are these people, and that's I think that's really interesting, and quite exciting to have like just that little extra layer now that we're getting a bit more comfortable with playing the game.
I agree. I think also as we play, we get more used to like what the backstory should be. Because I know for me, I have the secret of what happened. Why did I get kicked out of the city guard? And I have a rough idea of why that is in my head. But what happens in future, I think, will sort of inform that side of things. And I think Ben's got a kind of the same sort of thing where he's got a secret about his background completely. He almost gave us nothing to work with. So, to find out more about him, and I think pretty much the only thing he said was he's got a dark background, and that's pretty much all he's given us. So to get more information on that at some point would be really interesting. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I think you're right, though. We're hopefully we'll explore a lot of that because, I like these characters. They're really cool.
Yeah, and it was like, of course, you said by session 2, you kind of singing a bit more. It'll keep changing, honestly. Completely, and depending what choices you make in terms of like how you want to, especially but level 3 is pretty a big changing moment. That is when you go into your archetypes of what kind of paladin you want, like what oath you're taking, and also I don't think there's super much. It's from the get-go sorcerers, especially yourself being a wild magic sorcerer. And there'll be, I think there's you get something at level 2. I don't think sorcerers get anything at level 3. You would get a thing called Tides of Chaos at level 2, which is it gets interesting.
Let's be honest, though.
Yes.
Let's be honest, though, Josh. You're only ever going to use
the one spell.
Your one spell. It's a good spell, to be honest.
I did look and realise I had another ranged attack spell, and I only realised that I think after the end of.
What spell did you take?
What spell? Ray of Frost.
What was the other ranged spell you took?
Well,
apart from Ray of Frost, you said you can't remember.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Oh, you're not going to tell me.
Okay.
As much as anything.
Okay,
I mean, you've got my character sheet.
Okay.
You've got my character sheet. You can look it up if you really want to. Honestly, I don't actually remember. But
well, yeah, that's true. Actually, I could actually go back and check. Yeah, I could.
I genuinely don't really remember. I know. I mean, it's interesting because I'm used to watching like wizards. I've not seen much sorcerers playing, and
I'm looking right now.
The fact that there's so many cantrips as opposed to actual spells is interesting because it means that I actually can cast a lot of magic, and not pay too much high care to it.
I'm loving
until you roll a natural 1.
Until I roll a natural 1, which may or may not have happened in episode 2.
We shall find out. I'm loving the old-timey talk in the chat. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes. I was keeping an eye on
it. Yeah. Well, should we talk about the fights?
Sure.
We can.
Yes. So, David, I think it was... what were the creatures we were fighting again? I can't remember.
Kobolds, I believe.
Oh, that's what you've got.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Don't say that.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
That sounds bad and scary.
Okay, no.
It's my fault for not knowing my spells. I actually chose not to use it in episode 2. I made an active choice not to because that's when I discovered it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've got that.
Because there are spells for utility more than actual combat. Like there's and they could be very useful in those RP situations. But
I did build,
but yeah,
just as a
let's
character
talk about
point,
the
I
fights.
did build the spells that I have to the character when I first
Cool.
picked them. They are
Yeah.
picked because of the character he is.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I've been doing the same. I do the same as well. I do everything based on character. I don't try and people like to do it for optimization. How may I kill things the best way? But I do based on like character stuff. Like even the one I've randomly rolled, this lizard folk wizard. Like I randomly rolled all that. I didn't know what I was going to become, what class. I just went bum, 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 and all my stats as well, just to give myself something interesting to play. And I somehow created this battle mage. I'm like, oh yeah. But yeah. It's I like playing by character. Some people just like to, if I increase my charisma, I'm gonna get more firepower. Like some people think that way, just more for like optimizing fighting, which is totally cool. If you want to play hack and slash style in a D&D game, totally cool. And some people just like to do it to character, and some people just like, no, I'll just pick this.
We're essentially character and trolling.
Full-
That's what we do. You know, it's less Dungeons and Dragons, more character and trolling.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, fights.
I think all our
Fights.
games are just
kobolds and fighting in kobolds.
trolls, rolls.
I got to say, the first fight, I really liked the idea of being able to use, hiding as a chance to attack again, or attack to begin with. Because I think that ended up taking one of them out, didn't it? Just by, was it 2? Might have been 2.
From our rogue friend.
Yeah. I thought that was a really nice way to start the fight, is to have a fight before the fight even starts. You know.
Yeah, like a surprise round of some kind.
Ambush of the innocents.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But you already knew there. Well, I mean, we had this discussion, didn't we? Like, Ackerz knew they were evil. You guys did not. He didn't say anything. He just went, I think there's something bad ahead. I don't know. Like, and then you were like, very fast.
Kill.
Yeah, I figure he was trying to impress his new mates.
Yeah.
They're like, look what I can do. Freezing. Although,
He was
to be
looking at that
honest,
child
in
like,
this
what the
heat,
fuck?
in this heat, I wouldn't mind some Bifrost ability. It has to be said. What's that? We're out of ice. No, we're not. Bifrost.
Yeah. He's like, who needs... Oh, we don't have any chilled beers. I got it.
They're just frozen to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of lost on Josh because for those who don't, Josh doesn't drink.
I understand the concept of cold drinks. It's fine.
You had me thinking about that, though, Josh. Your face said that. You're like, oh, cold drinks? What? You can have things cold. I thought that was only in D&D. I didn't know that was real.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I really enjoyed that first fight, and just us getting used to things. I think. Oh, I didn't kill any of them, did I?
No.
It was you, Josh, and Ben. Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah,
Absolute
I think. I got 2 and Ben got 1. I think.
Yeah.
In that fight. But then I didn't kill any in the second fight. I don't think.
Oh, really?
No,
I feel like you did.
I started a couple, and then
okay.
Yeah, I think
you got 1 and Ben got the rest.
our rogue friend was just sniping everybody. I'm really not looking forward to when he's like a high level rogue and he's just sniping people in one shots with the high damage rogues have. Oh man, that's gonna be a fun.
I'll tell you what,
that happens. I'll put everything in front of him.
I mean, before we go properly onto the second fight, the ball bearings.
Yes. Hence the title of the episode.
What the hell?
The funny thing was realization. Oh wait, I've got rations. I could.
It was bad.
I don't know what he was thinking by giving the ball bearings. I don't think he knew.
I don't think.
He's just like.
I feel like that started off
Then
as
it's
like
like,
he wasn't
"What?"
thinking feed it to him. He was just thinking, I let them amuse themselves with a shiny ball or something, like a dog or something. Here, fetch. But yeah, my God, what a
No
twist!
concept of burgers. They're
What a
hungry.
twist.
You're like, oh,
I was not expecting that at all. What on it?
is it full of iron?
Honestly, what a bit of comedy, from out of nowhere as well. Oh God, I don't know. I don't even know where he came up with the thought of that. Obviously, you could see. I think he was checking through like his character sheet to see what I've got, and he just picked the first thing. It was pretty obvious. Wasn't it?
I'm almost certain the ball bearings were like top of the inventory, and he was just like, "I've got some ball bearings."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The search is over.
I got 100 of those. It's fine.
Oh, that was brilliant. That's
My
brilliant.
days.
No, I properly enjoyed that, but what a nutter.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that poor Kobalt.
Yeah.
And then he got
With the broken
executed.
teeth. Yeah. It was my one kill.
Your one kill. The guy who had
Although,
no teeth.
To be
Literally, your
honest
one
with you,
kill was someone who was toothless.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, he'd already been attacked, as I think Ben had already had a go at him. So
I think Ben destroyed his teeth, slashed his stomach, and then watched you take his head off.
Yeah, I was just sort of like, sweeping up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude. So bad. So bad.
Yeah, I know. But yeah.
When he gave the Kobalt, I was like, what would this Kobalt do? I'm like, he's gonna fucking. You think he's never seen these before? He's gonna think they're food, and it's. I have to make him bite these, so it's like,
And then
it was a good way to bring initiative in.
very true. And then of course you, Leamington and Child both hid behind the same rock and just started firing out stuff all over the place.
Yeah. Like kind of bad boy style, just like ducking in and
Yeah. There's that great moment where you're both calling over to me going, "You're doing good."
I think it was that after you threw the javelin and it went backwards.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that wasn't embarrassing.
Yeah. Because I think it's that you got, what was it, a natural one or something, you threw it backwards. Yeah.
Such a clown breeze. It's so funny.
I know. I know.
It's funny because I remember you saying when we were going to do the original Lasers and Feelings that you wanted it to be like, what was it, like Star Wars meets Mr. Bean, and I like how you've managed to travel Mr. Bean into D&D as well.
Yeah.
Full of Mr. Breeze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's when he's mounting a fucking sofa. On
You know
top
what
of
you should do as a
horse.
character? As a character, you should set up a business and open a fragrance shop.
Night Breeze is evening breeze.
I was quite pleased with that name, but when I actually said it out loud and you lot just started
As
laughing.
you said it, they pounced on you, man.
Yeah.
Josh just about to you on Night Breeze!
At what point were you like, what a cool name? Honestly.
So I was looking through because I knew he was going to be half human, half elf.
Yeah.
I was looking through names that would be good in common tongue that are also elvish, and both sound okay, so you could use them interchangeably if needs be. And this was the best one. And now I'm thinking, oh damn it, maybe I should have gone with something else. But to be honest, it just adds to the hilarity.
Adds to the comedy.
What's your elven name again? What's your elven name again?
Erin Nilo.
See, that was the
Erin
bit.
Nilo.
That was the bit that really got me when you said Erin Nilo. People call me Nightbreeze because it's easier to say, and I was just like, what?
It's because Nilo is.
What's it short are? What you hyper was it?
That's good.
Hyphenating. What
That
are
is
you
a good
doing?
point. That is a good point.
Kyle, you
But,
found your emoticon, Kyle.
oh God, yeah.
They're good. We need to make more of those.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, that's a good emote.
Yeah. I think, yeah. To be honest with you, I think one of the highlights was Ben taking down what was dubbed as Charizard. That was brilliant. Straight through the left eye. I mean,
Jeez, those Pokemon references, man. I was just like, yeah, sure, Charizard, that's who it is.
It was the
Mate, if it was Charizard, he would have a lot more hit points.
It was the little token image on Roll20 that did it, because I don't know how well you can ever see it on the broadcast or on YouTube. But if you look at it full screen, it does bear a passing resemblance to Charizard. And as soon as I saw it, I was just like, well, that's Charizard.
Charizard's orange, they were red.
oh, it's close enough.
It was Charizard after he'd been out in the sun too long.
If anything, it was Chameleon. Charmeleon, or no, not Charmeleon. What's the one in between?
That is Charmeleon.
Charmeleon,
Charmander is the.
No,
the small one.
Charmander's the original.
Hey, okay, cool. I do have it. Yeah, I know my Pokemon.
Oh gosh. Well, one of the other things I wanted to check with you guys is what you thought or what you felt was your favourite moments from that first episode. I know I've got my idea for what was my favourite.
Ball bearings. There's no contest. It's the ball bearings
Josh?
for me.
Yeah, I mean, the ball bearings is the obvious thing. I think if I was going to go with something other than the ball bearings, I think us first setting off and everyone being on your shoulders.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? I think it was
Just a stack of people.
Leamington on my shoulders and you on my back, and we were talking about how we should have a coat with six arms and 6 legs.
The tall spider people.
You took like a literal, like you were just like a quite, normal defense of.
Yeah,
That's quite intrusive.
yeah.
Why? Which is kind of the same thing Darius had to go through there. He's like, so, and I'm like, and he's like, like that awkward conversation moment. So how's your day?
It's the great thing about Ben is he's got no fear to just sort of run in and go, right, I've got this idea, let's do that. So yeah, as soon as he was like,
improv.
oh, absolutely, yeah. It's as soon as that idea came into his head, it's like, we're doing that now, right? And the thing is, he kept pushing it until he got to do it as well.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Gotta love it.
I suppose for me, I mean, definitely the ball bearings were superb. I also, I think I quite enjoyed the first battle. I think it was a good chance for us to sort of get our eye in and understand how it all worked. But it was also just us all bouncing off each other, sometimes in a negative way, like when Ben decided not to attack to try and cause me some damage, which was a real pain.
I was quite funny. You at that moment with Baltzard, you're like,
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. I thought maybe disguising myself instead of trying to hide would be a better idea, but it turns out it's the same role, so there was absolutely no point.
yeah, man.
Oh, that was good.
Gosh.
No, that was good fun. Well, so there's lots of like upcoming episodes. How many have we? So what? 2 are out. There's 3.
3 more to come.
3 more in
that
the
we have
bag.
Filmed.
2 more that we're filming live.
Oh,
I'm so excited to
actually
get
going
to
to see
sit
each
in a
other's
room
faces.
and make a thing.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna laugh even harder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm
I
so
generally think which
excited.
species we can see each other live. One will trigger the other, and we'll just.
And we're gonna have
Yeah.
Kyle with us as well for. Well, I think okay. So if I remember right, I for some fucking reason I no I don't I know why it's because I'm me. The stupid thread of a cowboy idea, which was like, oh yeah, I'll do that, has now turned into one of the ones that we're doing live. And potentially with 6 people, 6 of us there potentially, because that's the upper cap now. Not allowed more than that. So yeah, I've given myself quite the task.
Who's the 6th
Any
person?
tips? There is. I won't say it on air. I'll tell you off air.
Special guest.
Someone that Kyle is bringing, hopefully, who is known to the community, I should say. But yes, I'll leave that for off air. So that'll be the adapted Lasers and Feelings. I think I gave it a stupid name like Shooters and what did I call it? Something. Shooters and something. I can't remember.
I suppose we'll find out.
I can't remember. I thought of an alternative name that was Western based, but I forgot it now. And then D&D episode 3 will be live, which is I'm looking forward to that. Like D&D live with hopefully some like at least drawn out map.
Old school pen and paper map. It's gonna be so basic, but it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And we're gonna be using minis, but they're gonna look nothing like our characters. Yeah. No, I was looking at Hero Forge again. It's oh god, the price and to get them shipped over.
Yeah, it's the shit because it's America.
I wish it was a UK Hero Forge. Yeah, I tried to see if there was stuff on like Etsy, but it's all like pre-made stuff. It's not like
bespoke things.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hey, I mean, you know, anyone who happens to be watching this later on, if you enjoy the D&D stuff, subscribe. If we get some money, we might actually be able to. We might actually be able to get some like real characters and stuff across at some point.
Yeah.
Come through and watch.
That's why I play off Game Pass, because I don't have to spend more than a subscription like to get games from my Twitch channel. Like, so like I'm in the same boat. Like, yo, subscriptions help people, so subscribe for post sanity.
Absolutely.
And we'll buy
today
some stuff.
Yes.
Not one oh no, not one tentacle in sight. Oh no.
Don't give me ideas for my game. Man.
I'm sure we could make. I'm sure
you get creatures called mind flayers, which are basically big squid faces.
Oh,
people that have psychic powers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not cool when they make your brain explode and take it from your brain.
That's true. If they're the bad guys,
take it from your head.
That's a problem. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you guys, seeing as we have our GM from Lasers and Feelings and our DM from Dungeons and Dragons here, as someone who is going to be the game master or the game whatever the GM stands for, the GM for the first time. Any tips?
Game master.
Any ideas, tricks?
Well, I'll tell you, seeing as I started very recently, so I've been sort of learning on the job somewhat. First of all, expect the unexpected.
Don't worry about
Things
that.
will come at you, and you will not. There's no amount of GMing or reading notes or anything that will get you to a point where you'll expect that sort of stuff. What you did to me in the last episode of Lasers and Feelings, no chance.
At least I know that can't happen this time.
Well, I mean, you've given me ideas, so...
I will remind everyone, this is a Western setting. The Wild Wild West. No spaceships.
Well, unless we find one. But no, I'm only kidding.
That would be a plot twist, wouldn't it?
I would say the thing that I do is I bring a fair amount of notes, but I don't always use them, so I have more than I need. And I sort of decide as I'm going along, right, I'm going to pick out that bit, I'm going to pick out that bit I don't need. And the other thing I do is I give myself a list of about 10 names, just genuine, like general names, to cover me.
I was already doing that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Just in case I have to come up with something on the fly for, there's just a character just turns up from nowhere. Come up, you've got some names to work with. And have a rough idea of people's backgrounds, even if you're just bringing in, say, a shopkeeper for 2 seconds. Because you guys love to punt people from almost nothing to extremely important out of nowhere. So just having a rough idea of a background allows you to flesh out that character. Yeah.
We make heroes and fool guys out of just any old passing NPC.
Yeah. I mean, look at Madge. He was never meant to be that important.
So true.
Never in a million years.
Kyle, to answer your question, yes, new characters. Although I will allow you to just have like an adapted version of the Lasers and Feelings characters, or whatever, if you want to. Obviously,
we'll be using the same kind of character making sheet for that.
Yes, I will send you. Just by the way, I will say I did actually write out a
by the way.
A new character sheet with a slightly adapted
like a new one,
and I will send that to you. I'll send it to you after the stream because I've been meaning to send to you. I'm not around to it yet. I've been doing other things.
Brilliant.
Very exciting things for Post Sanity, which we will talk about on Sunday probably.
Yes. Oh yeah. Glad that I made you laugh, Kyle. Glad it is true, to be honest.
Yes.
Sorry, David. I kind of talked a lot there. Have you got anything for Josh?
I would say do not get set in your ways too much. That would be kind of to voice that. Expect the players to ruin everything you do.
Yes.
I do have some plans.
That's the advice I'm giving, because
I do have some plans.
Get good at improv.
I want to see if I can bring my same level of trolling to you as players.
Oh, okay.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
If
I still out-trolled you.
Hey.
There are a few things. There's a few things
this...
I'm hoping that happen. I have plans. But yes, no, thank you. That is good advice. And I'm super excited to do this. And I'm super excited to see everyone in real life as well, just by the way. It's been a minute.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while. So yeah, I am very looking forward to it. It is the only thing that I'm hoping is that I haven't created something that's too long. Because me being me, there's a lot. So we'll probably have an adapted version of what I do.
At least if you know it, yeah. You can always cut things out as you go on, because it will also depend, I would say, that's probably a good point, is pacing. Because you have to take in how the players pace the game. You might have the way you want it paced, and we go slow as shit. To what you want to do, so you make up ways to speed us up or slow us down. I would say pacing.
I think Carl's hit the nail on the head. Why are we helping you? We should be destroying you.
Oh no! Hey, you helped me today beforehand, and then on the day we have a fight. Essentially.
Fair enough.
And I kill you all because it's a one shot.
Oh yeah, good point. I was just going to say one more thing I would suggest, which is don't get too attached to the story. The first Lasers and Feelings I wrote for about 2 months, and I got really attached to exactly how it was all going to work. And then when you guys, in particular the first half, when you just ran over things and decided to go to different directions and things like that, it was like, for a moment I was like, oh, they're destroying the story I'm making. I'm like, no, they're doing exactly what I want them to do. They're just going about it in their own way. Yeah. So it's just don't get too attached to it.
Yeah,
allow things to be maneuverable.
It's such an interesting, and in some respects I can't wait to sit and talk about the process of it afterwards, because it's such an interesting process creating something. I would say that stylistically I'm probably midway between the pair of you in terms of what I'm shooting for, in that it's there is a story, there is a specific story that you're playing through, which is closer to what Rob's been doing with Lasers and Feelings. but I'm hoping that I'm allowing enough freedom closer to what David's doing, where you can explore a bit and have some agency in the way that events happen, hopefully. Cool. And also there's my own, so because I always, and I, you know, you both know about the eventual planned murder mystery thing. I do like a bit of mystery and a bit of gaming. Oh, hello.
I'm sorry, I had to jump in because I'm like, Shaw!
Hi.
Give him tips!
Hi.
Let's make him suffer like he made you suffer.
Yes, to be honest, yes.
Plus, on top of that, the fact that you're giving him all these pointers only means that he's now going to elaborate, because Josh loves to elaborate, as we all well know. I've read the script for Eden. Still waiting for the film, but that's neither here nor there. But he will now have backup plans for every single time. We're like, he wants to go this way, let's go this way. But he will now, I bet you any money, as soon as we go, we're going to go the other way, he'll be like, wow, if you go that way, this is what's going to happen. Like, I know him too well. He's totally backed that up already.
Yeah, you're correct. I have done that already.
Too well.
That's what I'm saying. The whole point, like, I mean, you know, asking for advice. Yes, I'm asking for advice. I want to know. Also, it's just good content for the stream. In case anyone else happens to watch this down the line and wants to have a go. I have thought of a lot of these things. I've also, as I say, I'm trying to make a world that you can explore, because I know that those are things that I like to do and I like to go off track. So I'm trying to prepare as if I was playing the game myself and there was someone who...
Sorry.
There was a troll of my level fucking with me.
You'll never catch it all though, Josh. Just remember that.
You wait until the Pokemon twist. There is
I want to put this to Ackerz, David, and Brenda. I'm sure he's, loving the Peak District in this pissing pouring rain.
Oh yeah.
However, can we all have a meeting without Schwa and discuss strategy? Because I don't think we've discussed strategy before. I mean, I don't know if you guys have, but for me, I want to discuss strategy and how we're going to fuck this boy up, bro.
I tell you what, so there's a few... So I'll send you the character sheets, and there's some adapted rules that I'm bringing in, basically kind of furthering...
rules.
Well, no, it's basically to do with combat, just to kind of advance, to make it to... Because I want it so that people know that they might die, so I'm giving people hit points that are a bit clearer. So if people get hit enough, they're dead. Yeah.
You are hateful, Shwa. Hateful.
Oh, no. I'll give so like hit points and healing is going to be a thing. So you can heal people, and there are hit points, so you know if you're going to die. To change people's decisions.
I'm going to predict this now, that Ben is some form, like some version of Bovington and Gnome.
100%.
Yep. So obviously he's got like his little traditional thing. So Bovington is the best pilot. He has to be the best pilot. Gnome has to be the tallest gnome.
Yeah.
So whatever character he's got now he's gonna have to be the best something. So I think we need to, because he's not here, I think we should play on that and like terrorize him on that.
He's gonna be the best shot. That's what he's gonna be.
I mean, David, I'm looking at you here because you know how to like really wind him up. Because obviously with lasers and feelings, you're like, I'm just gonna leave now, like before anyone else has the chance to. I'm gonna be sad.
It's all right. You haven't said enough to be a problem. Funnily enough, that kind of brings me on to the last point I think we were going to go into, which was Lasers and Feelings. It's coming out next Friday, if Ben finishes the edit.
In the mountains.
Yeah. There's a fair amount of work still to do on it, so it's not ready yet. But
I'm so excited for episode 2. That's what I'm saying, because I like after watching episode 1 and doing episode 3 with you guys, I'm really excited for episode 3. I haven't got around to watching D&D fully. I got through to when you guys had landed at the camp. And by the way, David, kudos. Like, I was living for your like introductory story. It was beautiful. So, but I will be watching it. But I just haven't had time. I've been working 7 days back to back. But I will be watching it.
No, all good.
Yeah.
So I was going to say about Lasers and Feelings. First of all, I think I've said it from the very start. This is my favourite Lasers and Feelings episode, and it's going to take some beating. There are now, Kyle. I know the one that you joined, episode 3, is tip top. But honestly, watch this one. You'll know what I mean.
Well, it's clearly not tip top then. Is it Ackerz?
They are
Lying Ackerz.
They are close, but
Lickers.
the second episode informs some of the stuff that you almost gave away in the third episode, and it is just it comes out of nowhere as well. And there's a beautiful moment between two characters that is just so funny.
I feel like I can predict who the two characters are.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. But we do have a title.
It's something.
We do have a title.
So you're going to release the title here?
Oh yes.
Yeah!
So the title of episode 2 of Lasers and Feelings, coming out next Friday, is Heist at the Museum. And I tell you what,
What happened to me?
so when I told these guys that I wanted episode 2 to be a heist, some of the reactions that I got back were immense. So
I was so excited for that.
yes,
And boy,
Yeah.
did it go well.
Oh my god, it was superb. And I hope, Carl, that gives you an idea of why I love this episode so much.
Yeah, I can. Knowing Schwa as well as I do, I can definitely. And my experience having done episode 3 and having watched episode 1, I can already tell the absolute shenanigans that went on with Schwa. But then also Brenda and David, like them. I already know them two. What's going to happen with them two? I feel like so.
There is no way you can predict it, especially Josh, but everyone. It becomes so unpredictable.
But this is how you predict Josh. Josh loves to elongate things. Loves to try and be unpredictable, but he becomes predictable by being unpredictable.
Oh no, not for this. Not for this.
I would be surprised if you guessed some of the things.
Even I didn't know.
I'm going to say this now, right? So when I watch it on YouTube, I'm going to watch it in real time. I'm not even going to like double speed it. I'm going to watch it in real time. And every time that it comes to like a decision or whatever, I'm going to pause it and then I'm going to write in the comments what I think is going to happen. And then if I get it right, I get a point. If I get it wrong, you get a point.
Good luck with that.
And then we'll get a score at the end. Now that's how you get the audience involved, Joe.
It was one of my, I think. Well, this is the thing, because I think Nan is predictably unpredictable. Rot is chaos, pure chaos.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Did I come across Rot? Because I don't think I did.
No, you never saw Rot actually.
Okay. No.
But you will see him in the next episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think.
Alrighty, guys. We have gone about half hour over what we'd originally. But isn't that post sanity all the way? Let's be honest.
We elongate things.
Exactly, it's what we do. So, unless anybody else has got anything else, should we call it a day?
Sure.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
May I just? Have we announced what's happening on Sunday? Sorry.
So this Sunday is, believe it or not, our year anniversary of when we started streaming.
Oh my god.
Which is insane. So we are having, and I feel like I've adopted a name that you'll be proud of, the Saniversary.
I finally rubbed off on Schwa.
Well, that sounds weird.
Let's caption that.
I almost fell off. Literally, the chair almost went down.
Oh god.
Oh, the anniversary! I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We haven't even had a conversation about it in 4 days.
Well, I mean, Yes, unfortunately, it's kind of considerably less well planned than some of the other stuff, some of the other big streams that we've done.
May I make a request?
You can.
To the two beautiful people who are sat above me here. I don't know if they're above me when I'm on
They
Twitch,
are.
but
We are.
why like, okay, so maybe not like hella deep, but what if we did a cheeky little like half an hour or hour bit where we do a very short, quick lasers and feelings? I feel like D&D might be a little bit more intense because you have a lot more to go into.
We like leads and feelings as ourselves.
Oh my god.
Yeah! So we do an hour long lasers and feelings. Ackerz, if you can smash one out for an hour, do you reckon?
Oh yeah, simple, easy, Kyle. Cheers, mate. Giving me an entire 2 days to put that together.
I think between us,
this is how we do. What?
I'll see what
between
I can
us,
do.
between us, we'll sort something. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because then, thank you. Because then I think that it then promotes what we do, and then it gets everyone involved, and then people can start seeing Post-Anti Play some more. I think that's
Wow.
perfect opportunity.
You heard it here first, folks. And
I
Rob.
heard it here first.
Rob.
The guy running it heard it here first. All right, I will.
You're gonna get a smackers because you're smashing it, Ackerz. Smash it out.
I will work something out. That's not a problem.
Yes.
Yay!
But yes, do come join us on Sunday. I'm going to see if I can rustle up a couple more guests or something like that. But yeah, it's a fucking year since we started doing this. I cannot believe it.
Do we still have the first stream? Because I think. Did we not download it or anything?
I think it might be. Was that the?
Do I have it downloaded? Because I was going to edit it. I might have it downloaded.
I don't honestly remember. I just know that that was the date because I looked that up.
The only thing I remember from that, and obviously we won't go too deep into stuff because you'll be chatting about it on Sunday, is that you were muted for some of it, Josh. That's the only thing I can remember.
I forgot it. I forgot about that. Oh, mute, Josh. Dr. Mute. Mr. Mute. That's it.
There are so anniversary stream. So hopefully some guests. Apparently a lasers and feelings session of some description. And we'll see what else. But there are some very big announcements to come on Sunday as regarding the film side of things. So
brilliant.
I'm so excited.
I'm looking forward to that because we have been working away in the darkness.
Sorry, Schwa has been working away in the.
You've done some work.
I'll put my hands up. I'll put my hands up.
Yes, so there are exciting things to come for Post-Sanity in the next year, including some amazing tabletop gaming and some amazing, really amazing film stuff. Which will be along soon. So yeah, so that's that. That's our little plug. Come along on Sunday, and
definitely
we will see you then.
This will be out.
I'm going to bully some people, so they will be.
This will be out on YouTube on Saturday as well, won't it? So that'll be in time to pick some people up. Or not?
We can put it on Saturday. I suppose we're on Thursday. Yeah, because that gives us the.
I think if we do that, it also gets the YouTube crowd in as well.
We will do that.
Sunday.
This will go on. So this very episode, which you have watched, will be along on Saturday at noon. On Post-Sanity Plays YouTube, and then yes, we will be back on Sunday with a very special anniversary stream, and then hopefully episode 2 of Lasers and Feelings the following Friday.
It'll happen, even if I have to help Ben out. It will happen.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Final question.
Yes.
Final question. Why does Kyle call you Schwa?
Well, because
this is new. This is new to me.
When did that start?
I've been sitting there going.
I have nicknames for everyone except you, David. Although Ben did try and give me one.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because I feel left out.
Oh.
I'm working on it. Although, wait, what did Ben say? He said something like Harrington or something, or... Do you remember, Schwa?
I don't
But basically,
know.
everyone has a nickname. I mean, Ackerz is basically just because his handle was Ackerz. But then it became a thing, like, if you start, like, giving it, I'll be like, all right, Hackers, like, you crap hackers. So that's where that's from. Schwa is just because Joshua, and Schwa is, like, one less syllable. And then Ben is Brenda Lee, because Brenda is, like, drag queens call people Brenda when they're basic and, like, you know, old and haggard, so I call Brenda Brenda. So I'm working on one for you, David, don't you worry, wait up. It will come to me.
I'm looking forward to it.
When it comes to me, it will be perfection. I don't rush nicknames.
It'd be part of Sunday.
I actually thought that. I was like, I'm going to find one for Sunday.
Well,
What time do you start the streams on Sunday?
Well, we're going to have to start a bit earlier because it's going to be a longer
Still
one.
8?
It'll probably be a 7 o'clock start, but then I don't know when the Lasers and Feelings segment will be on, so it might not necessarily be 7 o'clock start. We'll discuss it off air.
Yes, we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
But yes, so in all likelihood, 7 to 11 stream on Sunday, because that is our tradition for the big streams. Is for our, apart from the first one, which was like 6 hours and we all died.
Was that Hello Stream?
The Hello
Hello
Stream, yeah.
wasn't it?
That was a long stream.
And 7 costume changes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a lot. We will
I'm
have a
going
Hello
to have to
Stream.
wear a costume. I'm going to have to wear a costume.
Oh,
That was when I was Donald Trump. Do you remember that?
That was.
Oh my God.
That was the first appearance of Donald Trump.
I know. I was there too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
David was there.
Oh my
Been a
God.
lovely time.
I was on the wine.
You were on the Damn,
yeah.
I was on the vino,
I
man.
was stone cold sober.
All right, guys. So I think we should end it there. Then, really looking forward to Sunday and putting together something last second. And of course, Friday next week should be Lasers and Feelings, episode 2, Heist at the Museum, with it coming live 12 o'clock on YouTube on Sunday. And I just want to leave us with one thing that Baker Me said in a chat, which is so exciting. Onwards and upwards, guys. Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Cheers. Take it easy, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.